Hi everybody in Vietnam. It is so wonderful to be part of this gathering and this event. And I've met so many of you when you've come to Pyramid Valley to be part of our gatherings in Bangalore each year. And it's a pleasure to be able to come in now to your country. It's interesting this time we live in because there are restrictions, as you know, for travel, but it also gives us some freedom because it means we are going online and we are connecting either live if we can or sometimes pre-recorded as we're doing now, as I just wasn't available to zoom in live with you. The beautiful team there have put together a few questions that they've asked me that they felt you might be interested in regarding my field of specialty. As you know, I'm president of the Global Congress of Spiritual Scientists in India. And I remember many years ago being invited to come and share of my research into what we called at the time pranic nourishment. Prana is an energy. It's a word that maybe the Christians would call God, or Buddhists may call the formlessness, or others may call source energy. And I actually really like this painting I put behind me because it's like a white hole, but a white hole with sacred geometric patterning. And we know that that is the formation of creation beyond the formlessness, or coming out of the formlessness are these beautiful patterns of energy. And we are all systems of energy, and we all carry what I call the matrix of freedom within our own bodies. I never thought about source feeding as something I was interested in my life, but it's interesting retrospection. When you go back in your life and you look how perfectly things have been revealed, have come into your field, into my field as well, when we can see that maybe we had a natural curiosity about something. We can have a look at this life. We can tune into the zone where we can step into past lives, future lives as well. And I know many of you have been experiencing so much in your meditations. That's why one of the most consistent invitations that we offer at the Pyramid Valley Society, Patrick's work and my work too, is self-mastery, self-knowledge through sitting down, being still, opening up to this inner revelationary state. We carry all the wisdom, all the knowledge, everything within. One of the questions that the group asked me is, what step should somebody take to safely transition from their current diet to a non-eating one? I think this will all happen naturally, organically, when we hit a certain frequency that allows us to have this matrix more dominant in our system. And that's actually what happened to me. As I said, I wasn't looking for this life. I wasn't training for it, but I had a continuation from other lines of time that naturally organically led me to this. In this life, by 1993, when my body converted naturally, without trying, I'd already had 20 years of consistent meditation. You can hear it keeps coming back to meditation, meditation. The joy of meditation is that it's a conscious unhooking from the external world and all the limited models of reality that we're taught. In the Western education, there's not much holistic education at all, yet more is rising in our world. But generally the Westerners had to go to the East. We had to study different spiritual traditions, learn meditation from these ancient traditions. So I focused on a few things for those previous 20 years till my body converted. I was already a vegetarian. When I came in this life, I had a very deep, very powerful frequency from my previous life, as we all do. I was a shaman with the Lakota tribe in North America. And the way we interacted with nature, the way that we worked with animals, especially to take animals for the things they could give us for food and clothing, it was so honoring. But this life, when I came in and my parents were being very loving and supporting and giving me protein, feeding me meat, from the time I was 2, it just felt wrong. Not because it was meat, but the way it had been killed, all the fear, all the adrenaline, everything was in that animal, released through the animal that I just didn't want to take into my body. Did I know that at 2? No, obviously not. I was just, blah, no, I don't want to take that. And it was a big problem for my mother, but I held my ground. And by the time I was about 12, 13, I was able to say to my mum, listen, I want to take control over my diet. If I get sick, you can interfere. If I don't get sick, leave me alone. And so I started to look and study. And this is one thing we recommend you do. Honor your intelligence. Do your own research. Don't accept what people tell you as being a truth for you, because you have this perfect Indian guru or wise spiritual master within you, and it has all the wisdom and all the knowledge and everything that you need to have a really beautiful, peaceful, just an amazing experience on earth. And that's why we call it following your intuition, trusting your inner guidance, but being quiet, still meditating to open to this inner guidance, but clean up the diet. So I had a very clean diet from the time I was very young, just by playing. I found if I had raw food, a lot of fruits and salads and soups and almond nuts for my protein and legumes for my protein, my whole body just functions so much better. I studied better at school. I had much more mental clarity. I just had a lot of energy, didn't need as much sleep as other people. Then very early on, a few years later, I was taught ancient techniques from the Vedas my first day of meditation on these techniques, my whole body just vibrated into light, almost exploded in the third eye to light. And then wave after wave after wave of the purest love. And in that vibrational state, that energy state, every hunger, every human hunger I had, even though I was young, it all disappeared. Now sometimes we don't know what we're hungry for until we find it. I still had no idea of, oh, that's going to take away physical hunger. I didn't know then that the love that was vibrating through my body was coming from my own already enlightened nature. We all have this already enlightened nature within us, but it doesn't dominate the system because we don't focus on it. We tend to focus out, 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 out in the external world, and so our personality, human construct, tends to dominate the field. So as my life went on and I lived with focus on daily meditation, on having a very mainly raw, mainly vegan diet, doing yoga. I added yoga, the asanas, the movements, the deciding to only use my human voice to share words of truth that were uplifting and not to use it for gossip or anything like that, or sharing information that was divisive. These are really interesting energy shifts. For example, the decision to take no animal products, for example, we know in the West, the research is in that it can eliminate the majority, many human diseases, from heart disease, obesity, and so much more. That's proven now. But beyond that, it's about kindness. It's about compassion. When we choose the path of kindness and compassion to ourselves by giving ourselves the best fuel for the physical body, the path of kindness and compassion to the animal kingdom, and then eventually maybe the plant by being source-fed, we attract that same frequency back because we know that as a system of energy, we are vibrating out signals into the quantum unified field all the time. Energy goes out, attracts like frequencies, and comes back to its source of origin. So we've all realized this, I'm sure. So we become very conscious about what we are sending out. What are we transmissioning? And I think one of the most beautiful frequencies is kindness and compassion to self and others. And I notice that as this pure nature, as we cultivate its rising and its revelation, it floods our systems naturally with that which it is, which is a beingness of pure virtues. The more dominant this essence energy that is in all of us is, the more naturally we are kind and compassionate and patient, and we have this loving allowance towards others, but we also gain a much higher understanding and perception regarding all sentient life. We can see how our brothers and sisters, 7.5 billion people on earth, are just our own pure nature vibrating a little differently, choosing expression in different form. And with that knowledge and experience, it's impossible to be mean to another. It's impossible to judge another, to see another as less than, that this person's superior and that one's not, and this guru was wiser than you are, or anything. You just cannot hold that reality anymore. So source feeding, as the last 30 years have unfolded, when it happened to me, it was like, oh, I just got into this frequency of love somehow, and it's love, 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 love. Because there is this pure love that does, when it dominates, take away all human hunger. It takes away our emotional hunger, because we're just aligned to the channel of virtues and love. It takes away our mental hunger, because we know we get all the answers we need when we need them. It takes away physical hunger, spiritual, etheric hunger as well. So for me, these last 30 years, I was looking more at, what's the science of this? Because everybody was saying, Jasmuheen, how is it possible? And for a long time, it's like, I don't know. I just was in this vibration where I channel matched. And what it is a merging of matrices, going into, relaxing deep into the ocean of energy that has the ability to do this. So it's not grabbing. You've got to be careful of your motivation. Some people I've met said, I want to be the first person doing this in my country or in my city, or it's like, really? What about making the commitment to experientially embody, fully embody the truth of who we really are? To come into that state of absolute oneness. So there is no human self, no divine self, no Atman or monad, an ego personality self, but we are operating as an integrated whole. What about making the commitment in your heart to say, I am open to experience who I really am, to experience all the gifts my own pure nature has for me, including being source-fed, if it is for me in this life to experience. Here's another issue. Not just past lives carrying forward the gifts, the trainings we've had in these lives, but what about the commitments we made before we took embodiment this life? I made a commitment, along with so many others, to physically experience and demonstrate being source-fed this life. Now, if this is true, you will get all the support and all the help you need, because we live in this benevolent energy that will always deliver to us and to the world anything that is for our highest good and beneficial for human evolution. But what I discovered along the way is not only was I pre-committed to step into this life, I could then over time look back and see the life I had doing this as a woman in India. I could go back and have a look at where the curiosity began, because while it wasn't a curiosity I had this life, I did have other questions this life. As I pushed away that food, that meat, there were times my mother was annoyed with me. It was like, don't you know There are starving children in the world. You should be grateful you have such good quality, well made with love food. But I was just like, not eating it. It's very hard for my mother. But I thought then, but why? Why do we have starving children in the world? Surely, as I got older, I thought, can't we redistribute resources so that everyone is taken care of? Now, some people may say it's karma and etc. But I like to think that through compassion, through kindness, we can redistribute resources. And a resource is also holistic education to break the cycles of poverty. We can help each other do that as well. So I had interesting questions this life, thinking about resource distribution, thinking about basic human rights, curious about these things. I remember thinking, is there a source of energy that can bring people into permanent peace when I felt sorrow in the field, or fear, or confusion, or anger, and I'd watch some of the human dynamics? I had a sense that everything could be up-leveled, that we could operate in a different way. Now, you may think, where does this sense come from, and why do some people have it and others don't? Yes, it depends on past lives, not just on this planet, but way beyond. I've come in from a realm where this is what we call a futuristic science, in that the realms I am coming in from to be on Earth right now, that's part of my multi-dimensional essence nature. Connects me there. Because the pure nature, as it rises through our lifestyle and how we are spending time, it is a multi-dimensional energy construct. And so the stronger it is, the more we understand about living on Earth or any realm in true unity consciousness. This means operating in a way where we bring out the best in each other. Honor, respect, no fear, no control power games, none of that, but good basic education throughout the society that allows this pure part of ourselves to dominate and rise. I know one of the greatest gifts, talking formula about how this is possible, is how we choose to spend our time. Because how we choose to spend our time determines our frequency as a system of energy, which determines how the unified field responds to us and what zone of reality we are anchored in. Over the last 50 years, I'm now in my mid-60s, over the last 50 years of my meditation, as we all do, I've been able to understand the right path for me, the formula for me, but I've also been able to test lifestyle formula on thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So we know now that this dropping back into the energy that can take away all our hungers comes from doing 8 particular things. Meditation, where we open to experience the truth of who we really are. And we have some interesting techniques for that. Communion, conscious communion that some people may call prayer, that others will call a communion with this infinite wisdom that vibrates through all life and around all life. An intelligence that is there, that is so benevolent, always listening, part of us, so wise. The mastery of the mind, and this is the hardest part of this, because as you do transition more into source feeding through the lifestyle, and there's a lot more to it than this, we have an online course called The Alchemy of Source Feeding, but we also have free playlist on this that's a little different on YouTube. So as people apply this, the hardest thing is mastery of the mind, because part of you goes, oh, if I don't take physical food, I'm going to die. If I don't eat, I'm going to die. So we like to say, I eat all the time, but differently. There is a vibration flowing through us all. Remember? Each atom is 99.9999999% space. But that space isn't space, it's formlessness flowing through form. My field of study for the last decade or more has been on the attributes of that formlessness. And I found this formlessness on its pure levels. It's just pure love. Infinite wisdom, compassion, kindness, benevolence, and very powerful. So we open to this, but we have to watch this monkey mind, because we've been imprinted with so many limited ideas. Our work at the Embassy of Peace is about understanding experientially the magnificence of the human design. What's our energy construct? What's in the atoms? What's the vibration? What about our body of light? Can you hit a frequency where a gift in your body of light is revealed in another and another? Are we all naturally clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, source-fed, able to heal, regenerate our bodies with this energy? And the joyous answer is yes, 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 yes. But we're not taught in the West about the magnificence of the human design. And so that's what we like to share. You have what I call the freedom matrix within you, but it's about hitting a certain frequency. When we hit a certain vibration, another level blossoms in the body of light until we are actually free from so many, if not all, human hungers and limitations. Now that's part of our construct. We all have it. No one more special than the other. It just depends on what we're focusing on. So I've been focusing for a long, long time on experiencing and opening to and becoming more deeply at one with this multi-dimensional self, nature, and it's the most exciting journey I could ever have undertaken, for which I am so grateful, because the insights and the learning and what we receive is never ending. The more we think we know, the more we realize we know nothing at all, because there's so much to explore regarding our own already pure and perfect enlightened nature, that part that breathes us and gives us this gift of life. So in our light body, in the freedom matrix, we are here to give gifts, to receive gifts by being in form on earth. And so there are many gifts that we've agreed to give our brothers and sisters in our world, and there are many gifts that we will receive when we hit certain frequencies. So another point is, number 4, is just treating the body like a temple. because it is a holy, holy temple. This is the most perfect temple, the most perfect ashram. We exist as a divine beingness within this ashram, a four-body system of physical, emotional, mental, and etheric construction. When it's all vibrating harmoniously because of how we live our life, then the temple can be strong, fit, and healthy, and really can keep us here for as long as we may want to be here on earth. That's interesting, to have control over our aging process, our vitality as well. The next one, of course, is giving, just giving thoughtlessly, with no thought of our energy and time, with kindness and compassion, without thought of reward, just every day, because we can. Time in silence, in nature, is another aspect of this lifestyle. Recharging our systems, which is so important now, with Mother Nature Chi, because she's so powerful. And there's so many different flows of Chi. There's the Chi of love, pure love, from source energy, is the most powerful. There's cosmic Chi, there's Mother Nature Chi, and in Mother Nature Chi, there's water Chi, there's tree Chi, there's fire Chi, there's air Chi, there's so much. So silence every day means be it, zip it, shh. We learn so much when we're in silence. We learn to be good listeners. We learn to hear on other levels. We learn to hear and open more to that inner guidance, our intuition, our divine essence, language and flow. And then there's, of course, music as well. Power of sacred music. I know there are days I fill my home with so much beautiful bhajan, sacred music sung from the heart, and straight away it lifts me emotionally, it feeds me emotionally. Because source feeding is about opening also to be fed in many different ways. You know, when you hold a newborn baby in your arms, you enter into this mutual love affair with the purity of the child, just, yay, being so divine. And your heart just going, oh, and that's food. That hug is a food. You just go, I love you, I love you, I love you, to a child, to an adult, someone you love, to an animal. And this, I love you, you feel it, and it comes back to you so beautifully. So because I know that many of you speak and understand English, please have a look at our YouTube channel, our websites. We have a lot of free information there of lifestyle and more. We have a platform with online courses that may feel right for you to participate in as well. But just remember, I like this image because my consciousness is one little speck in this vast ocean, but I'm also the ocean itself, as are you. And there are so many amazing people who have so many beautiful gifts to share from their research and their fields of expertise that we can learn quite quickly from. We can gobble up their research. I have 7 books just on this subject, 42 books that I've released in about 20 languages now. But don't forget, you have within you the perfect teacher, the wisest, most loving, most powerful, pure energy. Merge with that, open to experience that, and you'll find that if this is part of your blueprint for source feeding this life, to really demonstrate it as Over 100,000 people are now demonstrating. So many have this gift. Then if it is for you, it will come. Organically, naturally. Just say yes, yes, yes. Say it with me now. If this is in my blueprint, this life, to physically experience this freedom, to demonstrate being source-fed and free from hunger on all levels, if this is for me this life, then I ask that I step into this safely, with joy and ease and grace, in the right way and the right time for me. Can your heart just say yes, 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 yes to this? So let's just close our eyes for a few moments. And just do a little scanning of your life, an honest assessment of your life. How are you spending time? Are you taking time every day for self-nurturing, self-exploration through silence, stillness, meditation? And if not, why not? Are you choosing a light diet so you can spend less time digesting food? Taking purer, easy to digest food so you can use digestive energy for other things. How healthy is your physical food intake? Can you lighten it up, make it healthier? Look at your mental food. Do you feed yourself with uplifting realities and mental food? Or do you feed yourself from ideas, ideology, media that maybe creates division, separation, fear? Are you nourishing yourself mentally in a healthy way? As soon as we mention these things, you know intuitively if you are or you aren't. Do you spend time daily in the energy of loving kindness and compassion towards others? Supporting others in the way they need, not how you may think they need. And do you spend time every day being really kind and nurturing to yourself? Can you love and accept your humanity while also spending time to cultivate your divinity. Are you exercising your body temple every day, maybe with Tai Chi or yoga, Qigong or something else, walking, dancing? Your body needs to move for the Qi to flow well. Are you spending time in silence, stillness in Mother Nature? Recharging yourself with Mother Nature Qi. Unhooking from busyness daily by being in silent stillness. Are you listening to uplifting music that feeds your emotional body? Are you sharing love and appreciation with those you love to feed your emotional body? Are you sharing love, unconditional love with friends and maybe animals to feed them and also your emotional body? Scanning your day and seeing how well you are feeding yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and etherically. And in this meditative space, we ask you, are you ready? Really open and ready to be free from all human hungers? Can your heart just say yes, 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 yes to this? Can you ask now, say yes to gaining this freedom with joy and ease and grace in the right way and the right time for you? And that you do this in a way that is beneficial for this planet and all sentient life. Can your heart say yes, 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 yes to this? What else can your heart say yes to now? A deep, spontaneous yes, I am ready to. Are you ready to experience your true nature, your multi-dimensional nature, and all the gifts it has for you in this world? Can your heart say yes, yes, yes to this? Are you ready to be a nourishing presence for all sentient life in all realms? Can your heart say yes, yes, yes to this? But what else are you truly ready to say yes to in this next phase of your evolution on Earth? And just sense how all of this has been recorded in the Akashic records. All of these yeses that were heartfelt have been received into the quantum unified field to open the doors for all these yeses to be supported so they can be an experiential truth for you in the right way and time. When you're ready, just slowly opening your eyes, having a stretch. And then trust that you will always receive all the wisdom you need, all the love, all the support you need. But remember, we are the source of that ourselves too. Let's enjoy this next phase of evolution on Earth by being kind, compassionate, loving, healthy, happy people. One day, I would love to come to your country, and I'm sure if it is to be, it will be. In the meantime, be aware of how you spend time and that you feed yourself mentally and emotionally and physically with the best nourishment you can access. This is Jasmuheen for the Embassy of Peace. Namaste.